Tom Less here of Less Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing another head by Swhacker. I've tested quite a few by Swhacker over the years, but thanks to a buddy, Tony Miller, who sent me a pack of these, I'm able to test the 243, which is the 150 grain, 3-inch cut broadhead. Okay, this is a beast of a broadhead. So I'm going to be testing it with my 2024 regiment. And for a detailed description of that, please watch the video. It's called 2024 Broadhead Test Process. It'll explain all the ins and outs of my tests and scoring and why I do what I do and so forth. And I'm going to be using for most of the shooting my new Elite Era bow, and then I'm also using for the flight testing this Killer Instinct SWAT X1 crossbow. I'm using Bishop FOC King arrows for most of the shots, Bishop Fat Eliminators for the really hard impact stuff, and then the Bishop GOAT bolt for the crossbow shots. Let's zoom on in here and check out this broadhead, go through some of the design features and specifications, and then put this Swhacker to the test. Here's a good look at this Swhacker close up, and I had to zoom out a bit just to make sure I could fit it all in, okay, because this is a real beast of a broadhead. All right, same classic Swhacker design. If you're not familiar with it, I'll start with the materials. You got this anodized aluminum ferrule that's a 2024 T4 aluminum, and then you've got this hardened carbon steel tip. It's a nice little tip to make penetration easier, and you can see it's got this this gradual design to it just to help with penetration. You can see the setback initial blades to allow penetration. You won't have as much kickoff right here. These are the main impact blades, and it's interesting to see how they come back just a little bit. They'll give you a 1-inch cutting diameter in the closed position and penetrate quite well because of that angle to them, and also with that angle provide enough juice to be able to spring open the main blades. Now you also notice that there's a very low profile in flight, making Swhackers really excellent heads for flight forgiveness and long range shooting. Now the overall length of this head is 2.5 inches, so that's a really long broadhead right here. The blades are held in the closed position by this shrink wrap right here. It's not just a typical O-ring, it's a shrink wrap. If you want to get the blades to open even faster, then you can use like a lighter O-ring, and that'll get you a larger entrance cut. But they're designed to be held in place securely with this shrink wrap. Let me show them to you in the open position. Okay, it takes a little bit to get that shrink wrap off, but they open quite well on impact. But here they are in the closed position without the shrink wrap. And on impact, these blades penetrate a bit, these two little shorter blades, and then these blades swing open inside the animal to that whopping 3 inches of cutting diameter, making this one of the very best turkey heads there is, because you have a huge margin of error to be able to hit that sweet spot and get those vitals in a turkey. But 3 inches of cut, wow. I'm interested to see how well it penetrates, okay, because that's a lot of cut. I imagine that's going to impede penetration quite a bit, and I'm eager to see the durability with such a long ferrule and with such long blades. But really like the design. I like how the initial impact dulls these blades a bit, keeping these what they call virgin blades open to penetrate extra effectively within the animal. And as for resharpening, the Stay Sharp Guide Gray Guide works really well with this Swhacker. Just eager to put it to the test and see how it performs. The Swhacker got the 9 ring. It took 228 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.72 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated 7.5 inches. The tip actually went to 7.5 inches, and then it bounced back a little bit. And that extra long ferrule really helps it with the penetration, because you see the blades are set back about 2 inches beyond where the tip penetrated. But I still give it the full 7.5 inches of penetration. And like almost every front deploying mechanical broadhead, the entrance hole is just the size of the head in the closed position. It took an additional 59 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is an 8.82 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 40 layers, but I do want to note that a significant chunk of that was just from that long, thin, narrow tip and not from the blades itself. The head is in perfect condition after 3 shots through the MDF. Here it is after the 2 shots through the steel plate, and it did relatively well. The tip got a bit blunted, and the back ends of the blades, you can see those 2 like tabs, those got kind of twisted up, and the blades themselves got a bit bent. They got bent back and a little bit bent side to side, and then the ferrule got like narrowed, like where the blades go in. The blades can't close anymore because it kind of squished together in that vented area. Here's a Swhacker after all the durability tests, and it did really well through the MDF. And then the steel plate, if you recall, it did get a little bit bent up in the steel plate, and the overall venting of the ferrule, it like narrowed during that steel plate, so that got kind of compromised. And then on the really hard impact, the tip embedded well. It has a nice strong tip, but then the rest just got all flared out, as you can see there. So, you know, again, this cinder block test, it's not a pass-fail, right? I mean, overall, the durability of this head was pretty good, especially for a mechanical. I'd say it was above average for a mechanical, but it's worthwhile to note that it just couldn't handle that kind of a hard impact. So what'd you think? You know what? It performed just as I thought it would. Swhackers are pretty tried and true and do a great job if you're willing to go with a front deploying, over-the-top deploying broadhead like that. For turkeys, this head would be really hard to beat, okay? It is going to just about cut a turkey in half. And, you know, their kill area, their vitals are so small that, man, to have a big 3-inch cut like that going through there is something really worth considering. And I actually really like using over-the-top deploying mechanical for turkeys because it's easier for them to penetrate. If you hit the quills or you hit that wing butt or something, they can penetrate well and then open up and then just bring that turkey down. But if you have enough momentum, kinetic energy in your setup, you can use it for other animals as well. But you check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most and see if it might be a good fit for you. And stay tuned for the overall, the cumulative score, as well as the corresponding lust grade, and then all the discount codes that I list that I have at the end of each video.